Good evening, traders. It's Mark here from the day trading room. The time is coming up to 9:15 London time on Tuesday, the 7th of December 2010, and it's good to be back trading again. Interesting day to come back to. As you know, been away the last week. I did a short video on how I prepare myself for coming back to the trading day, and I felt this morning that I was ready to get fully involved after just watching yesterday. So pleased that I did. Interesting day. We gapped up over that 11,400 level that was so key. We had some pretty serious resistance at the. If I pull in the 3 minute here, let's just get rid of those. That's better. We had some pretty serious resistance here at the 11,382 level, and we gapped up to about 11,440, which is a pretty large gap. So with that in mind, I was looking to buy on dips, and also the overnight session, if I can show that. I'm not sure. I don't know why I've got these bands on. Let me scroll in the overnight, bear with me. The overnight session, yeah, that's quite a zoomed in view, but you get the idea of the sort of strength that we'd had overnight. We rallied, we'd held basically about 10 o'clock in the morning London time. We'd reached that peak, and then we just consolidated. So there was good strength there, and my premise was to stay on the long side unless something changed. So that was my premise at the open. I wasn't really looking for a gap fill as such at that time. I was looking for some support to buy for a push to new highs. So first trade for me was this buy here at the support. It was 11,420 on the YM, and really it was just a tape support. There was a lot of volume there. We rushed down quickly at the open the first 2 minutes, which was the open was about 11. The open was 11,439, and we rushed down to 11,425 and popped back up again. We couldn't get above that 11,440, so that was an interesting level that I was looking at. We pushed down again, and this candle here, if I just get my marker out, this candle here tested. I wasn't looking to buy then. The third test of it, by this time there was a guy still holding there. He was actually at 26 on the tape. He kept lifting a bit and coming straight back in again. When I saw him come back in there, I bought at 27, 11,427, and my stop was going to be about nine ticks under that. The play was looking for a push back to this high, and then for a run on. Actually, I was looking for a further run. I thought this was just a little bit of a shakeout, and we're going to push on. Good entry on there. We pushed up relatively quickly, scaled out half just before that 11,440 level, about 38, and waited. I gave it a little bit of time, and now this doesn't look much actually on this chart, but it was about 3 minutes, and I gave it a little bit of opportunity to push lower, just to get a bit of steam up, and then hopefully push through highs. And I was planning on scaling out another sort of eighth, another eighth, and scaling out into that push up if we got it. We didn't get it. I had to change the plan quickly. We got what I expected was a little curl lower, and then it tried again, but it just really started to run out of puff. And the important thing to me was the fact that ticks weren't trying, they weren't pushing. It's just telling me that there's no offers being hit on the stocks. A bit of a weak effort. So until those ticks started to push higher, I wasn't interested. So I ended up closing that position just as this candle started to push the market below that little low there. So it was good scalp to start the day. Didn't quite get the push and drive which I was looking for, but the entry was good enough that we managed to still make some money out of it. Okay. Then after that, I drew this eclipse in. This was the level that I was looking to buy at. I didn't at this point here. It was 50-50. We're chopping around. It started to look bullish, then it started to look bearish. And when you feel yourself looking at the market going, it's a long, it's definite long. I was definitely short. And you're switching so quickly between biases and you've got this sort of narrow range chop, a 20-point range chop, you need to step back and say, okay, I don't really have an edge at the moment, so I'm going to leave it. I'm going to start to pick some levels, and at this point I'm still looking for longs because of the situation we've been in, because of the uptrend overnight, because of the decent overnight range. The low was 11,330, high was 11,444, so over 100-point range. I like to see that. So I'm looking for a pullback to get long on. The market really was quite slow, and through all this, I sat through all this stuff. I drew my clips in here. This is the time I drew it in. This was the level that I was going to look to buy. That was the 11,400 cash, which is a key level. And just below that, this was the yesterday's high. Very key now support level, very key resistance yesterday and from the day before, the Friday. So that was an interesting level. So basically anywhere between there was also a little bit of overnight support around that sort of level. So anywhere in that little window, I was going to pay a bit more attention to the tape, read the market, look at the time of day, and see what we had. Market then became pretty slow. It just started to drift down. We broke through some lows, and we did this sort of classic pattern was indecision. We broke through lows, we pushed back up, back into the range, we broke again, pushed back up into ranges. We didn't get any follow through. Same again. We've got three of those. You see this break, push back up into the range, indecision, another break through the low, push back up into the range. There's people still buying those dips. Push back up into the range here again, and then we finally got around to my level. Didn't take this one. I thought it was a little bit early. I was just hoping that we're going to get it about my nice little midday window, and we did. This was a nice little setup, a trade of the day for me, the one that really put the money in the bank. It's about that little window between 4:45 and 5:15 London time, which is the New York midday. And we just started to push lower, hit that 11,400 cash. Ticks were low. Would have preferred those to be flushing, but the volume was okay here. This was a little bit of a good volume spike here, and so there was my long. It was just a touch under the 11,400 cash level there. So we're in my window of time. We're at my level that I've picked out from before. Plenty of good support there. I was prepared to add another small batch if we tested this level here and then push back under. So I had a reasonably wider stop on that. So the position size was adjusted to suit, and I was ready to add. If we'd formed a nice little tail here and pushed up, then I would have been ready to add. But we didn't. We pushed up, and then we rolled back over again. We only took out the low by a few ticks. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but it was nothing significant. Bit of divergence in the ticks. Volume very poor, even though there's a little flurry there. And we started to push up. Perhaps an opportunity to add another batch, but we didn't quite get to that nice level I was looking for, so I didn't. Stay with my core position and held it. Now target for this was going to be ultimately, as you know, looking for that cycle in the market. I like to use 3 minute sort of stochastic to guide me. It's not a gospel thing to look at, but it does help you to see when there's a sort of a medium term on intraday level, medium term cycle in the market. Anyway, first scale's out on this trend line. I drew this downtrend line here, and that was my first scale where the arrow is right there. So halfway there, and I'm looking to hold half for that larger cycle. I'm half expecting another push lower. You often get that, it will push lower, and you may get stopped out, as it continues to go lower. But often it'll push lower, and then the buyers may get interested, and you get this push up. Let's get rid of those drawings, and that's what we've got. We've got a little push lower. The buy, it was very slow, so I'm just sitting with the position, just waiting for for that push up. We finally got the push up. Very slow at first, then we've got that little crescendo in buying, the little spike up right up to this little resistance level here at 11,413. You can see tagged it here, bit of congestion around here, so that's why I drew that line in. I would have preferred to clip that VWAP. We were a few ticks short, but we got that high tick index reading. Let's not get confused with the ticks and the tick index reading, which gave me the indication that I needed to get out. So I took it all out there. That was my final exit on that trade, which was a great trade. In from round here, half off here and half off there. Fantastic midday trade, just playing that counter trend cycle. Okay, let's move on. Incidentally, if that had pushed up to the VWAP, and then I would have looked to come out when the momentum dried up there. It didn't quite get there, but it was at my resistance level anyway. So anywhere sort of between here and here, if I'm getting that flushing ticks, again, ideally 1,000 plus 1,000 is better, but that little dot there is telling me that it's the highest tick of the day. So there's a little bit of a panic buy. Nothing, we're not talking anything serious here, but just enough just to pop it, just to try and get those few extra 6 ticks to 10 ticks. They just give you that edge and really add up at the end of your month. So that was the reason for my exit there. As it happened, we started to cycle right back up. We really did. It was looking like we were going to start pushing onto highs, and then it was the consumer credit or confidence, consumer credit came out 8 p.m. But something else shuttered it just before then. I don't know if it came out a bit early. I didn't actually see the release, but I was ready for it. But anyway, we started rolling over here. Really started picking up some steam. You can see if I get my drawing pen out. The volume started picking up. The ticks really then, we got some low tick readings here, and I was waiting for a pullback to get on. I was looking for retest this low. We didn't really get the pullback, and the momentum only really started when we broke through that last low, which was there. If I'll draw that in, and you can see there, we broke through that. Because we'd broken through it, and because we hadn't had a pullback yet. That's the important thing to remember. We hadn't yet had the pullback. We'd broken through, no pullback. What I'm waiting for, the first pullback to the ticks to 0, which was just here. I'm going to go through in a minute why I was a little bit early on that. There was my short entry. I could also see on the tape, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes where it couldn't penetrate that level. And so I'm shorting there, and I'm looking to get out if it pops, but I'm also looking for a deeper pullback to get short. So I've sort of got a couple of ways of playing that. Got the push lower, we broke through the lows, great. I'm holding on to the whole lot here. I'm looking for the gap fill. That's my final target. Nice low risk, high reward trade. Didn't get it. We got this tail. Unfortunately, we got this tail, started to push back up, and I came all out here. So it was about 10, 11 ticks. 10 ticks after commission on a full unit. Didn't know scaling or anything, but that tail just frightened me a little bit, and I came out. Incidentally, if I'd have waited a little bit more patient and seen the ticks actually break that 0 level, which was here, just pop up there a little bit, you'd see the tape seller was still there. It broke, and it would have given me that full target from the gap, which would have been a really nice trade. But I was a little bit early on that, and I couldn't ignore this tail here. I had to take the exit. I had to take my 10 ticks and run, and I didn't want to go in again on the second trade on that. So missed a bigger move on that one, but good trade nevertheless. And because of that, I didn't take this buy here. Now, the reason I didn't take it, there's a few reasons. Very quickly, I've got 1 minute left. This is the gap fill, and I will be looking to take that buy. But I didn't take the buy primarily because it's my first day back of trading, so I want to be careful. I've got 3 good trades under my belt. Mistimed this one ever so slightly, so I'm aware of that. But also because it's becoming late in the day, and because we've had that consolidation and push lower, we could end up sitting around here before a break lower. Now at this point here, if I just remove this drawing, I was looking for a pullback to my little ellipse level, which was here, to get short. We didn't get it, and so there's no more trades for me on the day. But nevertheless, good day of trading. 3 good trades, the midday trade being the better of the lot. And if I'm very quick, I can just bring in and show you that 3 minute cycle I'm talking about. There you go. There's that 3 minute cycle. That's what we're looking for. This time we played it from the long side, pushing back up and exiting on that. But some people can trade. You can often play it from the short side, going back in the direction of the trend. So good trading, guys. Hope you had a great day, and we're back again later in the week with another video.